little background on the East Rift Zone eruption. Here, again, we have the flow field area over the last 25 years. There have been actually 58 episodes, distinct episodes of activity over the last 25 years, but we can kind of generalize them into four or a few basic phases. Beginning with from 83 to 86, 3 years of episodic fountaining that built Pu'uo'o Cone. And Pu'uo'o is right around here. From 86 to 92, the vent shifted a few kilometers to the northeast, downrift, and formed Kupainaha lava shield. In this phase of activity, there was not episodic fountaining. Instead, it was continuous effusion through lava tubes to the ocean. From 92 to 2007, activity returned to Pu'uo'o. Activity was once again continuous effusion, flow through lava tubes to the ocean. And middle of last year, there was a brief intrusion, which I'm not talking about in detail today. The next major phase of activity started on July 21st, 2007. And this has, again, consisted of continuous effusion, and this episode 58 is going on as we speak. So, the current phase of activity is the 58th episode. We also call it the July 21st eruption because it started on July 21st, 2007. These different colors here show the flow field from different phases of the activity. Here's 83 to 86, 92 to 2007, or 86 to 92. But what started on July 21st, 2007 began from a series of fissures that opened up between Pu'uo'o and Kupainaha. And on that first day, we had a growing flow field here. And just in future slides, keep in mind Pu'uo'o and Kupainaha as kind of landmarks for the photos that I'll be showing. So on that first day, on the first overflight, this is a view of lava erupting from that set of fissures. Here's Pu'uo'o. From late July to basically November, flows were directed to the northeast. If you remember a couple slides ago, that map of the last 25 years of activity showed that most of the flow activity was directed to the south. But here we have activity, basically for the first time, we have sustained activity north of the rift zone. Here's the flow field on November 15th. Here are those set of fissures, and activity at the vent localized basically to this farthest east fissure soon after July 21st. You can see these lobes were directed to the northeast, and these were, of course, of some concern to communities north of the rift zone, communities such as Pahoa. But particularly in August and late August. But fortunately, activity retreated back closer to the fissures in September, and we had a series of overlapping flows that built a lava channel that was perched very much above the pre-eruption surface. And this channel, which was 1.5 kilometers long, or about a mile long, consisted of 4 distinct pools. And these pools were separated by bridges over the channel. We have pool 1, pool 2, pool 3, pool 4. That perched channel was really unique, not just because it was perched 50 meters high, or about 150 meters above that pre-eruption surface. We have the view here is the vent is here. Here are these fissures coming east of Pu'uo'o. The vent is here. Lava flows through this pool 1, pool 2, pool 3, pool 4, and the lava overflows the levees, or it flows into a small tube system here at the distal end. So the perch channel, as I was saying, was really unique because it was an almost perfect intermediary between a lava lake and a lava channel. We have lots of examples of lava lakes and lots of examples of lava channels, but the perch channel was unique, and it's the only, really the only instance of this kind of feature that I know of this perfect middle ground. And so what characterizes a lava lake? Well, you have ponded lava that's surface is overturning. You often have spattering along the rim. That's characteristic lava lake behavior. Lava channel, you have directed flow between 2 levees. That's characteristic lava channel behavior. And the perch channel exhibited both characteristics from both. And I'll be showing that in a video, but before I show the video, I just want to give some context. Here's the vent. The fissures are over here. The lava rises from the fissures into Pool 1. This is the start of the perch channel. It flows down Pool 1 and into the other pools. And here we are collecting some video. And we're going to be focusing on this area here. So keep in mind that characteristic lava lake activity, which is overturning and relatively slow-moving lava, and that characteristic lava channel behavior, which is directed flow between two levees here. And this video is a good example of showing both of those. That first part of the video was sped up 100 times. Here I have a little error. This is not sped up 100 times. This is real time. There was some spattering there. Again, very much like a lava lake, but in a lava channel. So that perch channel was extremely fascinating. It was really awe-inspiring to watch, but it did not last forever. Here's the view on November 15th. On November 15th, we had flow going through the channel and again enlarging, adding to this flow field. But things had to change, and they changed on November 21st, which was Thanksgiving Eve. So we call this the Thanksgiving Eve breakout, or the TEB. And the current flow is sourced from this spot, which sometimes you'll see it referred to as the TEB flow. But what's remarkable about this is that this is basically the same fissure that lava is erupting out, the same fissure as the perch channel. Here's Pool 1. But there was just a minor reorganization in the vent, just I think maybe 80 meters, a couple hundred feet. So that small change in the vent configuration resulted in a fundamental shift in the flow direction. Whereas before, November 21st, flows were directed to the northeast, north of the rift zone. Flows after this date were flowing to the southeast. And you can see the level in the pool has dropped about 10 meters or 30 feet or more just because this TEB breakout has robbed supply from the perch channel. And to our southeast is to our right, and the northeast is up. So this is after about the first week of activity at the Thanksgiving Eve breakout. The vent is right there. Previously, that was supplying the perch channel, but like I said, there were minor changes in the vent geometry, and they started feeding the TEB flow, which is going to the southeast. So this was good news for communities like Pahoa, but it was not good news for Royal Garden subdivision.